and welcome to the first installment of Two Live Jews in Jerusalem. I'm Damon Rosen. You probably already knew that. This is my friend David Weissman. David is a conservative blogger, and what we're going to talk about today is Trump's Muslim ban. And if you're only listening and not watching, I put it in air quotes because it's not really a Muslim ban. If it was a Muslim ban, it would have been 56 countries and not only 7. David, you wrote an article about this where you were a little bit undecided early on how you felt about the ban, and then you came out one way. So tell us a little bit about your article, where you were a little bit on the fence, so to speak, to begin with.
Okay.
But actually, before we get started, let's show the hats we're wearing.
Sure.
What do you got going on? Put that in front of the camera.
I am a big-time Trump supporter.
Okay. And I am wearing a no jihad in our backyard hat. Or at least I was wearing it. All right. So, tell us a little bit about your article, then we'll discuss the ban.
Well, it was a tough call because there's a lot of innocent people in these countries that are getting killed by terrorists. And that was pretty tough for me because, America, this is what America does. America helps out, the people that need help. But unfortunately, terrorists are running the country. And
which country? The countries they're coming from, or America?
The countries that they're coming from.
Because less than a month ago, there was a Muslim terrorist running the United States. But go on.
That's true, and I agree with that. A lot of these countries are overran by terrorists. And as the President of the United States, the first priority of the President is protect the American people. And right now, these terrorists are cowards. They are turning people cowards. You don't know who's a terrorist. They can be man, woman, child, unfortunately. So, first things first, Trump has to protect the American people, get it secured, get a decent vetting process, and then...
Now, we have the leftists saying, we have a good process, it takes 2 years to get in, this, that, and the other, and of course the first guy that they trot out is a guy that was an interpreter for the U.S. military, and of course everyone's going to look at that guy and go, bring him in, he helped the U.S. military, bring him in. That's not the case. That is not do you think the average Syrian, Iraqi, Sudanese, Somali, Libyan refugee was actually helping the U.S. military? Absolutely not. Written into the bill are exceptions, individual exceptions. If you help the U.S. military, come on in. You're vetted, you help the military, come in. That is not your average refugee by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't know, look what's going on in Europe, especially when the United Nations are in control of the vetting process. There's been terrorism skyrocketing since then. And Donald Trump doesn't want that to happen to America.
All you have to do is look at Marseille, France, Rosengard, Sweden, what happened in Cologne, Germany on New Year's a year ago. All you have to do is open your eyes and be logical. There's absolutely no reason. Listen, there are 56 Muslim majority countries in the world. 56. If this was an anti-Muslim ban, it wouldn't be a 7-nation travel ban. It would be a 56-nation ban if it was truly an anti-Muslim executive order. Secondly, being there are 56 Muslim majority countries, why don't the 49 that aren't on this list absorb the refugees from those 7? Why is the onus on the United States to accept these refugees? You're talking about Muslims that do not assimilate in the United States. If you look at the Somalis in Minneapolis and you look at the Shia population in Dearborn, Michigan, they don't assimilate. America used to be known as the melting pot. The Irish, the Chinese, the Jews, the Polish, everyone, the Italians, everyone came here. We became Americans. We were happy to be part of the melting pot. Multiculturalism has replaced the melting pot. So basically you take your rat hole culture here, why you've become a refugee. You take the exact reason you became a refugee, Islam, and you want to bring that here and not assimilate. Well, why should America accept that? That makes absolutely no sense for America to do. You're talking about Islam an ideology that masquerades as a religion that thinks that it is above the U.S. Constitution. Why should America accept people? Because if you're a good Muslim, you have to be Sharia compliant. True or false?
True.
To be Sharia compliant, to be a good Muslim, is antithetical to the United States Constitution. These are not normal immigrants that came here, the Poles, the Irish, Chinese, the Jews, the Italians, that wanted to become Americans. These are people that hold their beliefs above the U.S. Constitution. There is absolutely no obligation for the United States to accept them.
The main purpose of the Constitution of the United States, again, is to protect the people. And you know what? Exactly like you said earlier. Why aren't these other Arab countries taking in refugees? And where was all the hate when Obama did the same exact thing back in, 2011?
With Iraq, 6-month travel ban on Iraq. Where was the uproar?
6-month travel ban. Donald Trump is having a 4-month
That's because
travel ban.
we didn't have a Republican president. It's because it was Barry from Hawaii, Barack Hussein Obama, in office, and we didn't have the left and the ultra-left against the presidency. Which brings me to something that you brought up. You tweeted out, David had a little challenge for the leftist, elitist Hollywooders who live in fenced homes in gated communities, but want to tell the rest of us that we should be accepting of Muslim refugees. So after, I believe it was the SAG Awards the other night, the Screen Actor Guilds, you tweeted out something. And so, you tweeted it once. Go ahead and Facebook invite. Go ahead and repeat your challenge.
My challenge is an open challenge of the debate of the ban to any Hollywood celebrity who pretty much hates Trump and debate on the ban. They go on these platforms like the SAG Awards where there's no one to challenge them, or personal interviews, no challenge, and these so-called experts just trashes Trump, trashes the whole idea, and he's like you said, they live in gated communities, security, top-notch security.
Yeah. Like Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi would allow a Muslim refugee camp at the entrance to their neighborhoods. Did you see that happening? I don't see that happening. Or George Clooney. George Clooney, if I'm not mistaken, made a complaint to Italian authorities about Muslim refugees and migrants inhabiting the area around his Italian villa. Okay, so you want to talk about hypocritical. You know, it's the same thing as the environmentalists. These green people, the Save the Earth, you know, the Al Gores that want to tell us, you know, wait 30 minutes to take a hot shower. Do it by a solar panel as you jet around the planet on your private jet.
And this goes out to anyone from Michael Moore, George Takei, Cher, Rosie, anybody. If you have the guts, I mean, if you don't, just put up or shut up. But if you're a so-called expert, debate me.
Right. All right, we're going to wrap this up now. And we said it's 2 live Jews from Jerusalem, and so far, what does anything have to do with Jerusalem? I'll tell you what it has to do with Jerusalem. What it has to do with Jerusalem is this. Some of the leaders of the anti-Trump movement in the United States is Hamas. CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations, which is a court-documented front group for Hamas. Hamas is an enemy of both Israel and the United States. So that's why we're talking about this right now. And it's kind of ironic because I see Jews in the United States holding up signs. Anti-Trump, pro-Muslim immigration Jews holding up signs that says, never again means never again. I have not been back to the States since I made Aliyah in April. The biggest desire I've had to come back was to grab that sign, rip it up, and shove it up that guy's ass. Because if you want to compare a travel ban to the Holocaust, you really need an education. I'd be more than happy to supply it to you, free of charge. It's absolutely disgusting. People comparing Trump to Hitler, people comparing a travel ban and a wall to the Holocaust is absolutely not the case. Donald Trump is not shooting Syrian, Somali, Iraqi, Iranian, down the list, Libyan planes out of the sky. He's not killing people. He's not lining Mexicans up along the border and shooting them. So to compare him to Hitler is absolutely unacceptable. And to see Jews holding up signs like that is really, really perverted. I'm sure your grandparents that might have perished, or your great-grandparents that might have perished, are rolling over in their graves.
And there's one thing I want to bring up to that part. All those liberal Jews that are hating on Trump because he omitted Jews at the Holocaust memorial. He is what, you guys are actually wanting people from countries that deny the Holocaust. Trump acknowledges the Holocaust.
Exactly. That's a great point, David. You liberals are inviting people in. You're holding up your never again means never again signs to people that deny the real Holocaust. Not only is your comparison absolutely atrocious, but you're talking about people that collaborated with the Nazis. Okay, so just check Grand Mufti of Jerusalem and the Bosnian SS divisions if you don't know what I'm talking about. But these are people that want to actually deny the Holocaust that you're going to bat for. You want to talk about an insane, upside down, inside out world that we're living in today. This is it.
By the way, Netanyahu was right on that.
Kahani was right.